Hey everybody, it's Peter, and it is a cold November day here in Canada, in New Brunswick. I'm filming here at Yard Gear, which is YG Power Sports. They are rebranding because they're not just Yard Gear anymore. They've got all kinds of power sports. So I'm filming outside here. You got a lot of traffic running by, but I wanted to show you this out here before it gets too cold, before it gets too snowy, because there's a lot that we need to learn about. This is the Segway Fugelman UT10 Crew 4x4. It's a utility type vehicle that's got a little bit more sport than I thought, and it's kind of loaded with technology. So Segway approaches this whole power sports industry as sort of an outsider, and they look at things differently. They provide you with a different type of thing, and they're pretty good value. Now again, I'm filming here in Canada, so again, maybe different in other parts of the world, but there's a lot of things I want to show you on this. And I will admit that some of the specs that I have on their website is not great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with what I can show you, and we're gonna follow up with future videos if you guys have questions about this thing. So let's get going with this review. So the first thing to know about this thing is that it has a nice sloping front end, and a lot of the Segway stuff has full LED lighting. This one will have an LED light bar on the outside. We'll show you that all in a second. Has a halogen headlight and an LED light. So you have got the ability, got things going on here. You have got the ability to allow this to work in the winter because that halogen light melts any snow that could mount on there. So you could put a plow type thing on this. You could do all kinds of things. You've got the winch on there already, so if you mount that typical type plow that works on the winch, it's already ready to go. 4,500 pound winch. You've got decent ground clearance. I think just over a foot of ground clearance here. Again, this is not their full off-road model. This is more of a working unit, but it's definitely more sporty to drive. So we'll point that out from the top. Also just point out, you got the roof on here. Of course, all these things are removable, but a lot of vehicles you have to add all that stuff. Segway is pretty loaded right from the factory. So let's take it to the back end, show you some things there, and then we're gonna hop inside where there's just a lot of cool stuff that you haven't seen anywhere else. So taking a look at the back end here, there's a lot of things I really like. One thing I want to point out that's different, again, this is Segway looking at things different. So I mean, typical side-by-side type stuff down here as far as suspension goes, a little different shape to some pieces. But as we take a look at the hitch there, you've got not just the sort of the hitch box, you've got basically a ball mount in here, so you can put whatever ball you want. That comes standard with it. You also have 7-pin wiring down here. So if you're taking a trailer that your truck has been towing with your 7-pin wiring, you can get the 7-pin wiring there as well on this, which is a pretty cool feature to have. Now, taking a look at the lighting, very automotive-like. One thing to point out is this does have signal lights, so you have more lighting type options than you would have in a lot of them where they just have the red tail light. You've got signal lights there as well. Kind of a cool look. And again, Segway thinks about things differently. Let's talk about some capability as well. So you've got some interesting stuff going on with this Segway Fugelman. You've got the very automotive style handle type there on the tailgate. This feels very pickup truck like. Now I say that because a lot of them have sort of like the weird latches on the side, the more industrial style latches. When we get to the doors, you're gonna see a little more industrial style, especially the rear doors here. So tailgate right here can carry up to 200 pounds of weight, so you've got a lot of strength in there. The overall capacity in the bed is 772 pounds, 350 kilograms. So 772 pounds in the back here. Of course, overall vehicle weight capacity is 1,444 pounds. So you've got a good spread between passenger capacity and then still saving a lot of room for the bed capacity. So a couple things here worth noting. You do have the tie downs in the corner, if you can sort of see them up there. You've got one of those in each corner here. Not as many in-bed attachment points as some other units, but you do have a wide open space there. And if you can see here on the rails, you've got some tie downs, and if we'll zoom in right there, while we'll stay on the same angle, you can see some attachment points underneath those rails as well. Rails are removable if you really want to take them off and just get to those attachment points, but I think for most people, they're going to figure out how to tie down anything they need in here without having to put in a whole lot of accessories. You've got the good headrests on the rear seats there on the roll thing, but also keeps your cargo from kind of sliding into that passenger area there. So good stuff there. Normally I'd spend more time showing the outside, but I gotta show you the inside of this thing because there's some cool stuff. We'll start with the rear seat, which is kind of cool, and then we'll move to the front seat, which is weird and amazing, very cool. Before we jump in the rear seat here, we do have to show you this is a dump bed, and it's got a nice sort of rubbery, plasticky handle here, so you can kind of work that there. Pops up very easily. It is actually tougher to bring down because they have a strut to assist it, but I find that this is a stiffer strut than most, so you got to give it a little bit more muscle to bring down, which you can do there, which is kind of helpful because when you're dumping those beds that have the struts, it's nicer to be able to dump it. You don't need to put it down unless if it has some weight in it that helps you put it down. But again, it's not impossible to put down, but it makes it easier to dump for sure with that strut. All right, rear seat and then front seats. And like I said, stick around for the front seats because you're going to be impressed. All right, normally when I do this, I work with a Steadicam here. The Steadicam is powered by batteries, as are many other things that I work with. And that can mean in this cold temperature, they can cut out. So I'm gonna freehand this. If it's a little shaky, I apologize. Now remember we talked about that handle that was kind of very automotive-like? Well, in the rear here, you have a very industrial-like handle there for your rear doors. No handles on the outside at all. And a lot of people would think these are plastic. They are not. They are steel, steel doors, so very, very easy to clean, but a little different than you would have. They are sort of forward or rear hinge doors, so the rear door opens up like that, and it opens super wide, and you come in here. Now, first of all, I want to point out that you have a bucket style seat in the bottom seats, a little more bench style in the back. So you got the rear headrest there set back just to give you your helmet some holders. You also have the shoulder belts all across. That's kind of typical stuff. Now, as I jump in here, I'm gonna go to a wide angle camera to try to film this a little clearer. All right, we've seen just about every kind of side-by-side option in here. So this is a little thinner rail to hold on to. It is a cold metal rail today. So something to keep in mind, you're gonna want some gloves if you're doing this in the cold weather. But you have a little stretchy pocket here, stretchy pocket there, stretchy pocket there. You have a 12-volt port down here, and you have a nearly flat floor. Like this is just a couple inches up. It gives a lot of space for this style of unit down here, which is kind of impressive. Usually there's just a lot more intrusion in this rear area. So while the front seat has sort of a full enclosure here with the plastics and obviously some framing in behind there, you can see the metal frame there. It is interesting because visibility is fantastic. And if you want to know what's coming up in the front seat, check out that screen. We're going to talk about that in a second. But visibility back here is very, very, very good. And like I said, you have a lot of flat floor space. Again, the doors are there to keep the big things out. They're not here to water seal it or anything like that. There's no trickery in there. It is what it is there. Let's take a look at the front seat. So we got 3 seats back here, wide angle here, 1, 2, and I'm sitting in the third. In the front, you're also going to see 3 seats. Let's jump into that right now. In fact, let's just stay on the same shot here. All right. Shut that door. In the front, again, no handles on the outside, those steel doors, but you do have a more automotive style handle on the inside here. And when I say automotive style, it really is reminds me of kind of like, sort of that Toyota Camry of the back in the day kind of thing. Like in 1984, Toyota Camry has similar type handles there. So again, doors open really wide, a lot of ability to get in here. Before I sit in the driver's seat, I want to go around the other side and pop off the seat over here because it is really cool. And then we're going to start showing you some technology. This is a thing hopefully I can do with one hand. All right, we'll open the door here. We've got a glove box there. It is a keyed glove box, which is again very nice to have. And then this. All right, can I do this with one hand? Oh, there we go. Got that side up, got the back side there. Once you take that bottom of the seat off, oh, that was probably terrible camera work, I apologize. Once you take that seat bottom off, you've got this super large container here sealed to take all the stuff you need. So again, this one isn't necessarily lockable, but it is something that is hidden and can take a lot of your gear, should be able to keep it waterproof, that kind of thing. Whatever you need to put in there works really well. So I will stop the camera to put that back on now. Basically it slides in there and you push it straight down, and then we'll get, sorry about the poor camera work before, but then we'll get into the really cool stuff because there's a lot to show you. All right, back again on the driver's side here. I did nudge this mirror earlier so we can pull that in nice and easily, and we'll pop this door open here. We are filming wide angle right now just to show you a little bit more things. We'll start showing you a couple other things in a second here as we come in. So first of all, seating position is tall. Visibility is fantastic. I mean really good. Some of these have just a lot higher areas here, so really good visibility. I would have liked to see a wide angle mirror here. I'm sure you can get that as accessory, certainly in the aftermarket. That mirror, although it's out of position for us to actually see down the side of the unit, It looks like it's sort of, that handle's in the way. That's not really the case. I can see by it. It's not perfectly placed, but again, that mirror can be moved up or down a little bit there as well. So that's what we're looking at now. Let's just quickly look at a couple things before we start it up. Down over there, right below the signal lever, remember we got automotive style lights, is your two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, front differential lock, and that sort of turf mode button there, which is the orange button right here. So you can see all those. The button here controls the two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and the front differential lock, and there's your your turf mode type thing. Then you've got overall automotive style steering wheel over here. Let's go wide angle again. You got a start button here. You got your gear shift there, which is labeled here, and it'll be labeled in the dash for park, reverse, neutral, high, and low. You've got your parking brake here, key, and then we're going to talk about some of these controls there. Lots of storage underneath there, but let's just turn this thing on in wide angle. Remember, screens don't look as clear on camera. Oh, to turn this on, turn the key. Start button will not work. You can see the screens are coming to life. Really good styling on the screens there. So we'll show you that. But the start button will not work because you have to first press this in, sort of Lamborghini style, and then that brings that to life there, which is again, super cool graphics. And then we'll press the start button and it starts up, and it's a fairly quiet unit. So what have we got here? A lot to talk about. I'm just gonna show you the basics. We'll show you more later. Zoomed right in, you can see on the left side, 11.3 hours on this. Electric power steering mode is high, medium, and low. We'll show you that in a second. That's the EPS with the M there. Your lights are on, trip odometer or trip thing, tachometer there, speedometer in the center, fuel gauge on the right, temperature gauge as well, and a very clear display of what's going on with which axles are locked, what's going on, that kind of thing. Now this is in miles per hour, I believe it switches to kilometers an hour as well, which you can do. And then you have over here all kinds of fun stuff to play with. Aircraft style, sort of lean angles and everything else here, real-time situations, motor power in kilowatts, I think you can maybe change that. Speed in miles per hour, acceleration in meters per second, torque. And I will point out that this one does have very good acceleration, down low especially. Like it really pulls hard off the line, makes a lot of fun. Now you can see you can put your music in here, you can connect your cell phone to here, you can connect your mapping system here, or it has a mapping system on here, which is pretty cool as well. I don't know if it'll pop up right now. It's searching for signal right now is what this is telling us. So again, this was inside a while back. Oh, there we go. So it's gonna try to find us. You got speedometer up there as well, and it'll start to figure out where we are here in North America. Of course, that's all it's showing. But you can zoom in and find us all the way. Actually, there you go. We're in Fredericton. You want to know where we are? Just outside of Fredericton. Oh, you have to download that. We'll do that later. So this thing does connect to the internet and connect to the app that you have on your phone. And I will tell you, the app next to Tesla's app is one of the best apps in the automotive industry. It just works very, very well. You can do things like turn it on just using your phone instead of having to take the key all the time. Very cool stuff in there. So a lot of technology, more to show you in a future video for sure, but this is something I have not seen. Now again, looking at the floor here, very, oops, hit the gas there. A nice pedal placement, very flat floor, and again, that sort of bench seat in the front. So good space for 6 people, certainly comfortable for 4 or 5. The seat up here might be a little tight for the wheel. The driver there, we'll go a little wider angle there. Might be a little tight for the driver there, but very good spacing in here. This thing is very, very cool. So I will tell you, the wind is whipping here. It is very cold. I can barely feel my fingers right now. So we're gonna keep this one short, but I know that Segway doesn't have great information online. So what I'm hoping is you'll fill out my comment section to let me know the kinds of things that you wanna know. But before we do that, who is this unit really for? Well, first of all, the technology is pretty cool, and I can go into that a little bit more in a future video. I really quite like it. I think they're pushing the industry with stuff like that in here. Like I said, their app is very, very good. Most automotive apps aren't anywhere near what Segway has here. The response time when you can take your phone, start the thing up, or set it to turn on without the key. So if you're in your garage, you just need to move around, and you don't have the key right near you, you can do that and that kind of thing. And technically, you can use it on the field as well. Well, that makes me nervous because if you didn't have cell signal, or this didn't have signal, or whatever it is. but the app is very good, the technology works very well, and the ride of this thing and the power is very, very good. It looks like a parallel twin to me, so that's a little different than some of the V-twins, but it seems to produce good torque down low with their transmission. You've got 3 levels of electronic power steering. You can set them through the app, you can set it through the dash, you've got navigation, you've got other stuff. Really impressive place to be, and it rides fairly well as well. So whether you're looking to do work or have a little bit of fun, this thing gives you a little bit sportier of a ride than a typical working side-by-side. Certainly a lot sportier than a typical working side-by-side, but it doesn't sacrifice any of the utility, gives you some pretty cool technology. It is definitely something worth looking at because it's just something unique and it will absolutely push the industry. So there you go. There is my initial review of this. There will be more reviews in the future, and hopefully it'll be a little warmer, or I'll just have to start heading inside and film from there. Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to do that. Maybe leave a positive comment, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks for watching.